It's taken nearly a month after the election to get the votes counted in the 13th congressional district. Adam Gray trailing by nearly 600 votes to Duarte. And Duarte has been in D.C. participating in freshman orientation on 2 separate occasions. And how about down in Kern County for California's 16th state Senate race? Still hundreds of votes remain uncounted. Their lone ballot counting machine broke down. It had to be fixed, of course. Political newcomer and Republican candidate David Shepard still leading the incumbent Melissa Hurtado by more than just 200 votes. So a lot to unpack with our panel when it comes to these 2 races. The Duarte Gray race, the last congressional race to be decided in the country despite a recount in Colorado's 3rd district. So let's take roll call here. Former Fresno mayor, Hollywood A-lister as I call him, and host of his own radio show on 1550 KXEX, Alan Autry is here. And GV Wire News Director Bill McEwen. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. I want to start with, let's start with the Duarte Gray race, right? Because when you think about this, Adam Gray was probably the only politician in the country to have significant bipartisan support. And yet the math clearly not in his favor. What do you make of Duarte? Is this a major upset?
I wouldn't call it a major upset, and sadly, I don't think bipartisanship is necessarily something positive for both parties. They've been so polarized. I mean, back in the day, whether you're Democrat or Republican, and not too long ago, one of the qualities that a candidate had to have to be, electable, whether you're Democrat or Republican, was the phrase, could you reach across the aisle? Could you work with the other party? That was required. That was a positive. Now you reach across the aisle, you bring back a bloody stub, you get primaried.
Yeah.
So I don't think, trying to sadly, to try to appeal to both parties in today's climate, I don't know if it's possible. And
your thoughts?
So specifically on that race, I think that Duarte created a lot of excitement early on. I expected Adam Gray to win a close race. Appears now that he's going to lose this one. I mean, Duarte is very close to victory.
Yeah, but there's only 600 votes, right?
That's how much he's leading by.
Gosh,
Close, about 599. I mean, just to be exact.
Would not the Republicans learn after the red wave didn't materialize that don't start doing your victory dance until it's done? It ain't over till it's over. I mean, I wouldn't be in Washington right now going to any party.
Hey, the other thing that we really need to highlight here, and I think because we look at the California 16th Senate race, right? Hurtado, Shepard. The race aside, it's very close, right? And state capitol, they're gonna have a swear-in ceremony for the newcomers, and well, actually all of them. But no one could be sworn in on this race because nobody knows who's going to win. But I think the question on many voters' mind is why is it taking so long?
So in California, there's a painstaking process there. A lot of time spent on matching signatures and those kinds of things. But I think also the public has an expectation. They want the results quickly, and local governments aren't willing to fund what it takes in terms of machinery and personnel.
Yeah.
Kern County, which is holding up this vote, they have just one sorter for the ballots. It broke down during the counting process.
Right.
And Kern County is notoriously slow. You throw a broken sorting machine into it, and geez, will they be able to meet the December 8th certification deadline?
That's the question. I mean,
so I think this falls on the Kern County supervisors, honestly. They just haven't funded the department the way it needs to be funded.
I just think it's typical of too much technology. I'm all for technology, but technology, when people sell us technology, they say it's going to make life easier, quicker for you, and many times it does exactly the opposite. If we went back to paper ballots, we'd get it quicker, there'd be less controversy involved there, and I hope we're on the road to doing that. I know that sounds like maybe an archaic notion.
Yeah.
But you're always going to have that suspicion that, hacked in there, what did exactly happen? And we were talking about 200 votes, Bill, and election, that doesn't take too much of a mishap in technology or a little bit of voter fraud, not fixing an election or anything. But you could see an election
I
by
don't know that
mistake.
it would be any different with paper ballots, though.
You know, I want to get to this. We have a couple minutes left in our first panel here, and this is something that, to me, was very interesting. Jim Patterson, he went on KMJ. He was actually hosting, right? And he clearly said that he is going to run for Fresno County Supervisor. He did that before he was sworn in for his final term as Assemblyman. And he's going to do it against Steve Brandow. What do you make of that announcement so early? And two, could it actually divide the Fresno County GOP party?
So first of all, he did it very early, so it's a testing of the waters. He's going to gauge what the support is. He's going to see if he's going to be able to raise enough funds to actually have this battle. But, you know, if it were to take place, it'd be pretty interesting.
It would.
The other thing is it may not take place, or it may have another competitor, because it's obvious that Gary Bredefeld is bruising to go toe-to-toe with Jim Patterson.
It does sound like that. Your thoughts on it?
Well, I don't think he did it to test the waters. I think he knows he's got significant support. He's got name ID. I think he's probably trying to clear the field early, trying to intimidate other candidates and coming in. And I agree with Bill, probably the only guy with enough moxie and to defy the odds, and if he felt the calling to come out and take on Jim, would be Gary Bredefeld. But I think he knows he'll be able to raise money. I mean, he's always been able to raise money.
Yeah.
I just question, I like Jim. I know Jim, don't know him well, but know him. I think he's kind of brazen. I think it's got, you know, you got a job to do up there for us. And by the way, I would encourage you to be a real vocal, loyal opposition. You know, we haven't heard anything from a Republican representative. They've gone in, tailed up between their legs and they're whining. Oh, we're outnumbered. We got a super majority. So you don't hear anything. They go silent and take their paycheck. You need somebody up there, you know, standing up for conservative principles and saying when something's out of line.
All right, we got to end it there. We're going to have our second panel coming up. But coming up,